Excuse me. So welcome again to today's Gilman Scholarship Workshop. We are going to share an overview of the Gilman Scholarship, how advisors in the Nationally Competitive Scholarship Office and the Center for Global Engagement can help you work on your application. And then we have the pleasure of hearing from a Gilman Scholar from UNG. So moving on, my only question with a little tech support needed is full screen. I'm having trouble advancing. There we go. Okay. As you can see here, the deadline is October 5th. So we have about a month, which is definitely doable for the Gilman Scholarship. And we are here to help. So as I mentioned, advisors in the Nationally Competitive Scholarships Office, advisors in the Center for Global Engagement, we will be your team throughout this next month working on the application. As you are working, we'll be providing support. I won't read these to you, but you can take a quick look at the eligibility requirements. And as you can see in the right-hand column, the Gilman particularly encourages students with diverse ethnic backgrounds, students going to non-traditional destinations, first-generation college students, students with disabilities, and students in credit-bearing internships, and even majors underrepresented abroad. So just all good information for you to have as you're considering this opportunity. You will need to be receiving a Pell Grant, but if you have questions about any of these details, we can certainly chat about those as well. As you can see, Gilman's mission is really on increasing the diversity of students who are studying abroad. That includes also a focus on lesser visited countries. And really Gilman wants to just really encourage folks to study abroad in general. So what you see here on the right is a picture of some UNG applicants who are celebrating the fact that they submitted their applications, which is super exciting. We celebrate submitting applications. We celebrate students who receive the scholarship. We really want to encourage you every step of the way. Now, Renee Clement is our presenter today. And I'm Dr. Quinto, but also in the room today, I wanted to introduce Dr. Hightower, who is an advisor in the Nationally Competitive Scholarships Office and also a professor of history here at UNG. Allison Grundell, who works with us in the Nationally Competitive Scholarships Office as well, and Lisa Cummins, who is representing the Center for Global Engagement. So with that segue, the Center for Global Engagement is a key point of contact as you're considering your Gilman application, because our colleagues in CGE will help you identify which study abroad, internship abroad might be the best fit and really kind of help you prepare that application as well. So you can see the contact info here. Lisa, did you have anything to add?
Nope, just we're happy to see you. So please, you can also make an appointment with us directly at cgeadvising.ung.edu. And I'll put that in the chat for you too. But come see us to talk about programs.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we wanted to remind you about how to schedule an advising appointment with Nationally Competitive Scholarships advisors as well in csadvising.ung.edu. And just a quick plug for scholarships in general. Gilman is one of many. And so we want to help you find which one or which ones could be a fit. Gilman, perhaps others as well. I know Renee, our special guest today, has received more than one scholarship, and we will help you each step of the way. So as you're writing those essays for the application, supporting you as you prepare to submit, and we really want to help you connect with all the opportunities that could be a fit for you. Before I pass the mic to Renee, Dr. Hightower, did you have anything you wanted to add about Gilman or scholarships in general?
Gilman is one of those scholarships that we really love in this office because it's a great start. It gives you that push to really find your pathway and to open up new doors. So we really hope that you'll consider applying for them.
Thank you. I love that way of phrasing it, opening up those pathways. And you really never know what else might be in store for you. So we really encourage you to start exploring now. And we are definitely here to help. So I am going to unshare my screen and officially hand things over to Renee so that you can hear what it's like to be a Gilman applicant and a Gilman scholar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Quinto.
Thank you.
My name is Renee, and I applied for the Gilman Scholarship for a summer program in 2020. So I applied in 2019 before the COVID mess. So I want to talk about first the decision to even apply to Gilman was really difficult for me because I am a non-traditional student. I do have a family. I have other responsibilities, and I didn't want what I wanted to do to be a financial burden on my family or anybody else. So the decision was really difficult to make. But after discussing it and talking it over, I knew that there were ways that I could finance what I wanted to do and just do a shorter program. So there really are so many options of different programs from 3 weeks, which is the minimum amount for Gilman, up to semester. So I think it was just a great opportunity to grow and push my boundaries quite a bit. So starting with the essays that you have to write for the scholarship, I really recommend that you take your time with those, but to just start writing some things. You may cross everything off later, but you will do better if you just start writing and focus in and really hone in on yourself, promote yourself. That's really what you're doing here. And elaborate as much as possible. Sorry, I made some notes. So being precise is I started out too general, and I really had to hone in on what I was trying to say. Sometimes that really got difficult, but I'll tell you, the resources, Dr. Quinto, I think you were the biggest resource for me, and gave me straight up information, goes, hey, you need to change this. You need to talk more about this particular event or what part of this. And that I cannot explain the gratitude that I felt, because I know this whole team that's here is in my corner. And, you know, they were cheering me on. They were doing everything possible to help me to get this scholarship, so that I could fulfill my dream of traveling abroad. So I think one of my biggest tips would be to use your resources. use them. That's why they're there. And I cannot appreciate that enough. That really helped me through that process. Once I did finally hit submit, which was a little bit of a rough day, but because it's very stressful. It's a big commitment, but it's so worth it. I'm so glad I did it, despite everything that happened after this. But in November, they announced the early Gilman scholarships, and I got that scholarship, and not very far after that, I got another $500 scholarship. And I did a 3-week program I was supposed to go to Prague for psychology. So I got a $2,500 scholarship from Gilman, which was their max amount. And then I got a $500 scholarship from the program itself gave me that. And then I also got their travel, which was $1,000. So going into the following year, I knew I wasn't quite fully funded yet for the program, but I was close. So that's when I started to also apply for other scholarships through UNG, through honor societies, through whatever I could find. And it ended up that in April, I was fully funded and was on track to actually have extra money for spending money. So I really felt like this whole weight had been lifted from me, that I didn't have to worry about the finances of this wonderful opportunity. And just as I got my travel voucher and was looking at flights, COVID hit. So everything had to take a back seat, and kind of everything came to a halt like no other. I mean, we all know what we went through. So, so then there was scrambling. Of course, the program got canceled for the summer. I was working with CIEE at the time. They were trying to find other programs. They bumped me to a January program in Ireland instead. Of course, that didn't happen either. So this was quite the process, but Gilman was there to help me through it also. They gave me extensions. They kind of also got around their requirements too and allowed me to go this past summer. Well, even this past summer, I know some programs went, some didn't. It was still kind of iffy, but I decided in January of last year, this past year, that I would just do something virtual because I didn't want to lose this scholarship. I just felt so proud that I got this scholarship. I didn't want to lose that opportunity to connect with someone somewhere else on the other side of the world. So I did some other research and finally found a program through 123 Connect that was an internship that I could do actually after I graduated, because I was on track to graduate in May, which kind of left me in limbo. I didn't need any more classes. It didn't fit into my plan of study anymore. So there was a lot of other issues, but I found this internship that I thought, this is great. I actually worked in Cape Town, South Africa with a primary school, and I did weekly presentations on various subjects. I actually have some pictures, which I hope that you'll be able to see. Can everyone see my screen?
No.
How about now? Yes? Okay.
Kind of, yes.
Kind of?
We can see. Is it a screenshot from an online presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is me up in the corner here with the program director and then his boss also. When I gave my first presentation at the Mamre Primary School. Of course, they're in South Africa. There is a lot of technical difficulties that we had to deal with. So it ended up, I was in a 6-week program and only was able to give 3 presentations. So that was kind of a bummer. But here's another one. But it was such a great opportunity. The final time that I was scheduled to give a presentation, they had technical difficulties with their audio. So I could see them, they could see me, and I had the kids, they're all coming up to the screen and waving at me. And so even though I was so far away, I still built a relationship with 13, 14, 15-year-olds that it's an experience that I'll never forget. I mean, was it study abroad? No, but it was just amazing to be able to have this type of opportunity. It just was great to interact with them however we could in this particular time with all COVID. And so there are other opportunities besides study abroad, which is what I want to promote also, is the virtual aspect. There are a lot of options for virtual classes and virtual internships. Now, I just took a 6-week one, but I know there's much longer ones and shorter ones as well. So I just would like to make sure that if you want to do this, that you should do it. There shouldn't be a question. So, and this was, his name is Conray, and we actually still talk, and I still do volunteer work for him because he's trying to get a new program started in Cape Town. He has a passion for the kids there to help them, and he loved my presentations. So he calls on me quite a bit to try and fix his presentations. So I'm just grateful that I still have this relationship. And I mean, he's in Cape Town and I'm here. So it's just really neat that 6 weeks can make a world of difference. So I'm just, I don't know, very grateful for Gilman, because I would have never been able to do that otherwise, or never even thought about it. So, so if you're thinking about it at all and are worried about the finances, Gilman is the way to go. So.
Thank you so much, Renee. That is just really inspirational, and how meaningful to have an impact on the lives of these students in South Africa. Just what an amazing experience.
It really was. And like I said, it was just such a short time, but it was fantastic. And I would highly recommend it. So.
And now look at
a great alternative with all this COVID going on. So
exactly. You have this international network now. You have colleagues in South Africa and Cape Town that you're working with. And so I'm so happy for you. I'm thrilled that this, all worked out. And I will say this is, we've now worked with multiple UNG students who chose a virtual option with their Gilman scholarship and had an amazing experience. We've heard from a student who did an internship in Australia and created these incredible connections and got this professional experience. It all looks stellar on your resume and helps to advance your career, but also it's so meaningful. So like you said, it's a way to have a really impactful experience during a time where it is sometimes very challenging to go abroad.
Right. And it was very interesting to hear what they're dealing with COVID as opposed to what we're dealing with here. Much different situation. So it kind of put things in perspective also. So just very impactful.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Renee.
You're very welcome. And like I said before, if any students have questions, want to talk to me about anything, I'm here. I'm very open to helping other Gilman scholars, or potential Gilman scholars. And I do have to say that my family is a 2 Gilman scholar. My youngest son, Isaac, got the Gilman scholarship, and he's planning to study at Oxford in the spring. So, and he's at UGA, but yes. So we have Gilman scholars in the family.
Not every family can say they have multiple Gilman scholars. That's awesome.
So I'm very, very proud of him. So
that is awesome. Well, I know he's proud of you too.
So
well, just thank you again so much, Renee. And we do have a couple minutes. If anyone wanted to ask any questions, feel free to just turn on your mic or share them in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for Renee or about Gilman in general?